Hi, I'm Trooper Smacka.
Hi, I'm Trooper Wellman,
Please stay tuned for a behind-the-scenes look at being a state trooper.
and together we can make a difference.
Here we are live on a special edition of Halloween Trooper Talk. Now, Trooper Cesena, tell us who we have here today. We have some special guests with us.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
We have other troopers that are part of parole and probation.
Correct.
But they're going to be there on Trunk or Treat. Introduce yourself.
Sergeant Chris Clifton with Parole and Probation.
Officer Diana Lopez with Parole and Probation.
Well, we're glad that you're here. I have some stuff here. These are just some things that we're going to be able to give out to the kids, right? We have bags. We have a phone. All right?
That's
So
awesome.
here's the thing.
All right.
We have this. We brought some candy. What everybody wants to know is that it's going to be a fantastic time at Southern Command this Saturday from 5 o'clock until 8 o'clock.
So this Saturday we're celebrating our second annual Trunk or Treat event. Where it's going to be open for the public. I urge everyone who has little kids, loved ones, dogs, bring them over this Saturday 28th from 5 to 8. It's going to be a free event where everyone can come over. It's going to be a safe environment for people to, have a good time, have some fun, get candy for the kids. It's going to be a safe place where there's going to be not only just us as troopers, but also PNP officers are going to be there offering candy and having fun. We have live music going on. We're going to have several food trucks. We're also going to have two inflatable slides for the kids. So it's going to be a very, very fun time. And
A fun time.
yeah, it's going to
Right?
be a fun time.
Free.
Free.
Maze.
Yeah,
Yep.
Right? Like, people are going to go through a maze.
they are.
Yes.
Right? Like, this is going to be a lot of fun. Right? You both are going to be there?
Yeah.
Okay. You're very quiet over there. Talk to us about how the kids are going to be excited when they come there and they're going to get all this free candy. They're going to get the bags. Everybody's going to be there. And the best part about it is it's a safe environment for the families to come, right?
Right, who doesn't love free stuff? And as kids, they're going to be able to be in a safe, secluded environment. They're going to go from car to car, get all kinds of treats, get some free goodies like the bags that you guys brought us. So it's going to be a great time for them, and the families can be at ease and know that their children are safe there.
And Sergeant, when it comes to things that you do, it's all about the rehabilitation. Sometimes there's bad things that you have to see. But, when it comes to people coming there to the Trunk or Treat this Saturday, they're going to come there and have a good time. And they're going to know that you're there and that there's going to be no funny business interrupting, right?
I mean, first and foremost, there's going to be a car decoration concert, and PNP is going to have the best car decorations on it, okay? So when you show up, I encourage you to vote for the PNP cars.
Right, okay.
Nothing against these guys, but their cars aren't as nice as ours. So, yeah.
Friendly competition.
Right.
Exactly, but there's going to be a totally safe environment. We've done our best through experiences last year and through the personal experiences we have of just setting up the best possible thing we can for kids and for the families in this city. It's really going to be a great time. There's so many resources going to be there, so many things to do, food, fun, slides, whatever. Maybe it's the Cena now race down the slide. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Officer Lopez and Sergeant Clifton, you're both from Parole and Probation.
Yes.
There are specific things that people can and cannot do when they are either off parole or whatever it might be. Would you describe some of those things, please?
In general, for all people that are on some type of supervision, they have to do sometimes counseling, like mental health assessments, substance abuse evaluations, things like that. They do have to abide by all the conditions that the court gives them.
And when it comes to the Halloween, right, there are specific things that sex offenders can and cannot do.
Yes.
Right? And so when it comes to the kids, the parent or the guardian generally walks them around or whatever it is, but the sex offenders have to what? Like have their lights off? Is this the situation? Explain that.
Yes, so we tell them beforehand so they all know that they're supposed to have their lights off starting around 5-6 p.m. They need to be home. They can't be out and about in different areas. Lights off. They cannot open the door unless it's for law enforcement or it's an emergency. They can't hand out any candy. They can't have any Halloween decorations. And they're also not allowed to attend any family events like pumpkin patches, corn mazes, haunted houses, anything like that where the community would be more at risk.
And Sergeant, you oversee other officers. But this is very important, and so there's not a lot of talk of sex offender Halloween safety,
Right.
but it's very important. And so, it's important that your officers are out there following the law and making sure that the people that are or have been in trouble abide by that law as well.
Yeah. I think it's important to say that this is not anything different than we already do. It's just a different holiday, right? Our officers are out there every day of the week doing home contacts, seeing offenders, making sure that they're abiding by their conditions and making sure that they're not breaking the law, right? This is just a focused effort specifically on sex offenders because of the high-risk nature of some of them. That's why we do during Halloween, obviously, because there's kids out. There's a lot of sex offenders that have conditions that they're not allowed to be around children. They can't go to pumpkin patches. They can't go to corn mazes, things like that, right? And that's why we are out there. In addition to going to houses, our officers are also going to the pumpkin patches. They're going to the harvest festivals. They're going to the community events and walking around. You might see them, you might not see them. But there's looking to see, we have a very small population of sex offenders. We know who a lot of them are, right? And so the officers who supervise a certain area might be going to events in that area and looking for their sex offenders. If they see them, well, that's obviously they're going to probably be arrested. If they don't see them, fantastic, right? We're doing a really good job of putting it out there, saying, hey, this is what you can and cannot do. And we put this out, a month in advance probably since we started this operation. So,
and Trooper Cecina, we talk about another division of the Nevada State Police, right?
Yeah.
And so, people think, well, they're just out patrolling the roads and that's all that they do. You know what I mean? Go write tickets.
Right.
But that's not the case, right? You're out there making sure that the roadways are safe, right, for drunk driving and speeding and impairment. And your brothers and sisters are over here making sure that these type of people are not around children.
Right.
And people that they're not supposed to be around. Right?
Yeah, and it's very important, and we both get to work on our own different way, even though we're within the same department. Our goal is still the same, to make sure that the public is safe. Just as much as I don't want that person who is possibly impaired or speeding to drive down a residential area and strike one of those kids who's, out trick-or-treating. They're out there to ensure that every family and kid is, out there and feel safe, that they can go to a house and get candy and then move on to the next one and enjoy the time with their family. So just as much as they're doing it out on the streets, we're out, safe, protecting the public out here on the highways.
Yeah, and Officer Lopez, everybody just wants their family to be able to go out on the road and walk around and go house to house and, and just have fun and be able to dress up in a funny costume, have great memories, have great pictures. And so what we have to know is that there are people that are in the background that are keeping us safe.
Absolutely.
And so just as the sergeant said, you might see them or you might not see them, but they're there.
We're there.
So don't don't try because we will catch you.
Yes.
Right?
absolutely.
Absolutely. So we are doing different operations, especially getting closer to Halloween and on Halloween Day, where we're not maybe in the spotlight, but we are looking around to make sure that the community is safe, because we don't want anything to happen. And so we want to ensure that the offenders are compliant, whether we're in front of them or they don't think we're in front of them, and when they think that we're not watching them.
And I want to touch on the fact that this is not a one-day operation. This is something where you know the people that are the sex offenders, like you said, because that's your business, and you forewarn them that don't take any chances. Do what you're supposed to do because we will be watching.
Yeah, the goal of this operation is to have 0 violations. We told them from the get-go, this is what we are doing, we are enforcing it. And if they still choose to act a fool and violate their conditions, they're going to face the sanctions that are put on them. So, like I said, our goal, 0 problems. And that's why we put it out in first, because we don't even want there to be a chance of an issue, right? We let them know, this is what we're doing, and we expect you full compliance.
And we're talking about this on Trooper Talk, okay? Because we want to get this out to the general public so that they know that they are out there. You know what I mean? Like it's not like it's hidden and or anything like that. It's very important. Parole and probation is going to be out enforcing things from now until Halloween and for thereafter, but I'm just saying specifically for this specific time, right? And so they have told the people to not do it. In your line of work, you don't get to tell somebody, listen, don't speed today, right? Like, you know what I mean? I'm watching you. I'm going to be on the 215. But here's the thing. Halloween, okay, or before, people have parties.
Yeah.
People go over. They have Halloween parties. They have Halloween costume parties. They have this type. Adult-wise, right? And those people, after those activities, they get on the road. And then they get behind the wheel. And number one, maybe they're putting their loved one in harm's way because we're just going home. It's 5 minutes down the road. We're just going to get on the freeway very fast. You know what I mean? And that's when problems happen.
Yeah.
And they get behind the wheel, and then they speed, or they don't speed, but they're still impaired, and the game is over. Then they get put in your handcuffs.
Exactly.
That's not a fun Halloween.
They get an extra pair of, that has to do with their customs, so they get a pair of bracelets.
Right.
Yeah.
And when they get arrested, not only there's an expense, but it's 12 hours
Yep.
where you
Minimum.
are in not a nice place. And I can only imagine on Halloween
Oh
night.
my God, yeah.
Right? Like with everybody dressed up, you're all laughing because you've all experienced this, right? Where somebody's dressed up in a costume and you have to take them and you're like, and you walk, right? You can walk in there and you're like, this really isn't happening.
Right.
Right? I mean, like, but it's the reality of the situation.
Yes.
And so we laugh and we joke, but when it comes to serious business, there's a law.
Yeah.
And if you break that law, you will not be laughing.
Yeah.
And that's what people have to know on your end for the Halloween, right? And on both of your ends for the Halloween.
Yeah.
We have a couple minutes left. Give me something for the closing just to tell people, on your end, what not to do on Halloween night.
Yeah, so I definitely do not speed. If you're out on the road and you're trying to go to a party, if you're trying to go to houses or anywhere that you're trying to go, be aware that you have the life of others in your hands as soon as you get behind the wheel. If you're planning on drinking and having fun or going to a party, do so responsibly. Make sure you get a ride, make sure you get a ride share, make sure you get a taxi, make sure you call a friend. Always have a second option for you to get back home safely. Because it's not only just your life, it's the life of others. And, we're going to be out there. We're going to be out there as much as they're going to be out there as well. And we also have access to, if we see someone that we stopped over and they're under probation, we get notified about it as well. And then we can relay that information to them and they can make the choice either to arrest them or not arrest them. So they don't necessarily have to be out close to kids. They can be driving and they can have candy or they can have a little one on next to them or something. We'll get that notification as well if there's a sex offender out there or someone. And we always want to make sure that no one's violating their probationary rights that they were given to them. So we're out there as well looking for just people who are speeding, people who are impaired, and people who are on probation.
Okay.
And on that same note, I will say that with the increased parole and probation presence too, if we see a drunk driver, guess what? We're going to say, Highway Patrol.
Right.
We will get one of our friends out there
Right.
to
Yeah.
come take care of the drunk driver. We don't specialize in DUIs, that's theirs. But you know what? We make phone calls. And if we see it, we will find it and we'll make sure they take care of it.
And your car doesn't have the lights.
It does not,
Right.
but I
so
will
they,
follow
so they,
somebody.
Right. So that's what I'm
You know
saying.
what?
I'm gonna
so they
follow
will whip
you.
past you, like not even thinking about it, and
Yeah.
you can call.
And they won't even notice that
Right.
I'm in there.
Right.
So
You know what though? Some of our cars now have lights.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay. Well.
So we are getting emergency equipment installed,
Okay.
and we have policies and procedures in place for traffic stops. So
Good.
if it's a dangerous situation and we have the ability, guess what? I'll make the stop, Highway Patrol, and he'll come take care of the rest.
Okay. Good.
So, yeah.
We need to do everything we can. You know what
Exactly.
I mean? Your thoughts on the Halloween on Halloween night and stuff like
Yeah.
that, and the pre-Halloween beforehand and everything like that.
Just in general, I would say be safe, be smart, be responsible. If you're a parent, don't be out drinking before you take your kids out, because what if you jaywalk and your kids are there with you and you just get smashed, right? That'd be horrible, right? Be responsible. It's your kids' lives in your hands, right? Be aware of what's going on and be prepared as well, right? Have an escape plan if something happens, right? Say, okay, when I'm walking down the street, if a car comes barreling down the street, I'm gonna get out this way, right? Just keep these things in your mind. Be prepared, right? That's the motto of the Boy Scouts, but it's a life lesson too. Be prepared for what's gonna happen, right? Maybe you need to bring some Band-Aids. What if your kid trips and cuts their knee, right? Have things ready. Bring water, because it might be hot, it might be cold, who knows? Make sure you have jackets, and just be aware. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah, just be aware. Officer Lopez?
I would say, parents, it's really important that, like, we are going to be out and watching everybody. We're going to keep the community safe as much as we can. But it's also, parents, please watch your kids, especially what they're doing online now and in
Yeah.
the future. We want to have those conversations with kids and tell them about the dangers that are out there and who's trusted person, who's not a trusted person. Make sure that your kids feel comfortable enough to have that open dialogue with you so that they feel safe with you and so they can bring up any concerns that they have and they know what to look out for to be safe.
Well, we appreciate everybody coming on. We're going to have a safe Halloween. Now we're going to face this camera and tell everybody to be safe. And if not, you're going to be watching. You know what I'm saying, right? All right, see you later. All right, thank you.
Thank you. Be safe.
Be safe.